Welcome back to All This Math. This is Professor Parker. Please, if you're not already, make sure you subscribe to the All This Math YouTube channel. Since you're here, go ahead and hit the like button. All right, give us a like. Also, share this video with somebody else and drop a comment down below. As I start to explain this, if you have any questions, go ahead and put your question in the comment section also, so I'll know what questions you have. I might even make another video, a follow-up video, so that you'll have a better understanding of the answer to your question. All right, so what we're doing today is we're dealing with some HSPT math. HSPT stands for High School Placement Test. This is a test that is geared toward eighth grade students that attend Catholic or other parochial schools, and it shows it's a measurement of how prepared they are for high school level math. All right, but yet and still, even if you don't attend, even if your child does not attend a Catholic school or a parochial school, this content is still important for them to understand. This is an algebraic question, an algebra and geometry question. All right, algebra and geometry question. All right. And why do we need to understand algebra and geometry? For many reasons. One of the most important being we need problem solving skills just in life in general. That's the main purpose of math, problem solving skills. Yeah, you can get jobs in STEM and do this and that and all that, but that's great too. But you need to have problem solving skills just as a responsible human being. You need to know how to identify problems and solve problems. All right. Now, also, I want to shout out these women on my hoodie: Harriet Tubman, Asada Shakur, Fannie Lou Hamer, Ida B. Wells. I just dropped some serious names just now. If you're familiar with them, cool. Reorient yourself. Go do more research on these women. All right. If you're not familiar with them, you got some work to do. Go do some research. There are plenty of books that have been written about them or by them. Right. There's a lot of research available online. Go do your reading. Okay. Now, let's get to this problem. What does this say? It says a lot. Now, I don't want people getting intimidated by word problems. Don't get intimidated by word problems. Just take your time and just read them. It says the width of a box is 1/3 of its length. So we're comparing dimensions. We're comparing dimensions, width and length. All right. When you see a problem like this, think about this box right here. Right. This box right here might not, it's just a random box I had in my house. I just picked it up because this problem is about a box. All right. It's got width, it's got length, it's got height. You know what I'm saying? But if you're doing a problem like this in the comfort of your home, maybe grab a box and take a look to make it make more sense to you. All right. So the width of a box is 1/3 of its length. The height of the box is 1/3 of its width. If the length of the box is 45 centimeters, it's an if-then statement, right? Teaches consequential thinking. That's a life skill. Consequential thinking is a life skill. All right. Consider the consequences of your actions before you take action in life. If the length of the box is 45 centimeters, what is the volume of the box? That's the if-then statement. If this happens, then what will happen if you do this? If we try to find the volume. All right. Now, a couple things we need to understand. The volume of a box or a rectangular prism. That's a formula we must know. All right, we got to bring that to the table. So that's going to be V, stands for volume, is equal to length times width times height. Now, of course, if you're dealing with a cube is a rectangular prism where all the dimensions are the same. It's like a three-dimensional square. So the length, the width, and the height would all be the same number. So the formula for a cube, the volume of a cube, you might see written down somewhere. It might just say volume equals side cubed, or side to the third power, which is essentially actually why it's called a cube, right? Because to find the volume, you just take the length of one side and you raise it to the third power, or you cube it. All right, so we got V equals L times W times H. We're going to deal with that in a minute. First, we need to know what the length is, what the width is, and what the height is. Now, the problem tells you that the length is 45 centimeters. So this we already know. We already know that, but we don't know the width and the height. But based on the information we have, we know about the relationships between the length, width, and height. So we can figure out what the numerical value of the width and height is. We can figure those out because we do know what the length is. All right. So what we should do is, or one way to approach this is, I would look at each sentence and translate each of these English sentences from the English language into math language. You got to understand the language of math. understand how to write it, understand how to read it, understand how to speak it. How to write it, read it, and speak it. The language of mathematics, right? So, first sentence, the width of a box is 1/3 of its length. So width, we use W to represent width. So I'm going to say W is, that's equal sign. W is width. Width of a box is equal sign. 1/3 of. Of means you multiply by something. Its length. So 1/3 of L. So width equals 1/3 of L. Right? Look what I did. I took that whole sentence. From here, the width of a box is 1/3 of its length. And I condensed it into just that. So ask yourself, what would you rather write? Would you rather write this? Or would you rather write all of this? That's the beauty of math. A lot of people think that that's a punishment, right? A lot of people have difficulty with mathematics and difficulty with algebra because they don't know the language. They don't understand the language. They don't understand how to translate this, or they never learned. Nobody ever taught them or showed them how to translate this into this. Once again, where did this W come from? The word width, width of a box. Where did this equal sign come from? The word is. Words like is, are, will be, should be, yields, words like that. They translate to an equal sign. 1/3 of, 1/3 of, the fraction 1/3 of means multiplied by. 1/3 times something, times what? Its length. The letter L represents length. That's the language of math. Look at math like it's a language. Treat it like it's a language. Just like if you translating, no matter where you live at, if you're translating from standard English into the slang or the vernacular that you use with your friends or with your homeboys or whoever, right? It's the same concept. Learn the language and the math is going to get easy. Just learn the language. Don't be scared of it. All right. So now the next sentence, the height of the box is 1/3 of, they go to where of again, its width. So I could create another equation based on this second sentence. The height. Height is H. I know it's capitalized over here, but it's lowercase right here, but it's representing the same thing. The height of the box is equal sign. Height is H. Is equal sign. 1/3. 1/3. 1/3 again. Of means multiply. So 1/3 times something. 1/3 times something. Right? It's width. The width is W. All right. So now, and then we already know this. If the length of the box is 45 centimeters. So let me actually write that down too. Let's say L equals 45 centimeters. All right. So we also know that L is 45 centimeters. So based on this information, I can use this to figure out everything I need to know. So because I know, and it's like a puzzle, because I already know that the length is 45 centimeters. How do I know? Because I read the problem, right? L is 45. So now because I know that L is 45, I can figure out what W is, because W is 1/3 times L. So that's going to be 1/3 times 45. Now, what gives me the right to do that? What gives me the right to write 1/3 times 45? Because W is 1/3 times L, but I also know that L is the same thing as 45. How do I know L is the same thing as 45? Because I know the length is 45 centimeters of this box in particular, because it says it right here. So you gotta have reading comprehension first. Then we do mathematics. Reading comprehension, then we do mathematics. You can't be a quote unquote math person if you can't read. You can't do it. You need reading skills and reading comprehension skills in order to do math. We got to get rid of this false dichotomy between being a reading person and a math person. We got to get rid of that, right? Because it's holding people back, right? It's going on long enough. All right. So now we're going to figure this out. What's 1/3 of 45? 1/3 of 45 is equivalent to 45 divided by 3. We should know our division facts. We need to practice our division facts if we don't know them. 45 divided by 3 is 15. That's 15 centimeters. All right, so now I know W. Now, why am I figuring out W? Because I'm trying to figure out the volume. And what do I need to figure out the volume? What's the information that I need? I need length, width, and height. length, width, and height to find the volume of a rectangular prism. All right, that's the formula right there. Volume equals length times width times height. So I already know the length. The problem told you the length, 45 centimeters. All right, I just figured out the width because I know the relationship between the width and the length, right? The width is just 1/3 of the length because it says it right here. But I translated these sentences into shorter equations. Now, how do I figure out what the height is? The height is equal to 1/3 of the width. So watch this. 1/3 times 15. Now, what gives me the right to do this? Because the width is 15 centimeters. How do I know that? Because I figured it out. I calculated it. Because I knew that the width was equal to 1/3 of the length. And I also knew that the length was 45 centimeters. So therefore the width was 1/3 times 45, which is 15 centimeters. And then the height is equal to 1/3 of the width. How did I know that? Because I read the problem. The second sentence says the height of the box is 1/3 of its width. All that whole sentence translates to just this. So we got 1/3 times 15. That's the same thing as saying 15 divided by 3. 1/3 of 15 is equivalent to 15 divided by 3, which is 5 centimeters. All right. So now I know my length, I know my height, I know my width. Now we go down here. We got volume is equal to, now plug in all my numbers. Replace L with 45. Replace W with 15. Replace height with 5. Now, in the normal circumstances, I would grab the calculator. But on the HSPT exam, you actually are not allowed to use calculators. So you either got to do it the old-fashioned way on paper or use some mental math strategies. So what I would do is this. I would do, let me see, 45 times 15. Now I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna put the 15 with the 5. Use the associative property. Multiply 15 by 5 first. I'm gonna do 45 times 75. All right, that's going to become 75. Now I got 45 times 75. So if I got 45 times 75, I'm looking at this. I'm like, how do I do this? How do I do this? How do I do this? So I can't think of a way. I can't think of a convenient way to do this using mental math right now. So I'm going to just get down old-fashioned way with it. 45 times 75. Standard algorithm for multiplication. 5 times 5 is 25. Write the 5, carry the 2. 5 times 4 is 20. 20 plus 2 is 22. Then we go to the 7, which is 70 really. 7 times 5, 35. Indent one space. Don't forget to indent one space. 7 times 5 is 35. I already used that. Carry the 3. 7 times 4 is 28. 28 plus 3, that's 31. Old school way. Learned this back in 87. Miss Johnson's class down Roland Park, 3rd grade. All right, add him up. 5 plus 0 is 5. Nothing, blank space, that means 0. 2 plus 5, 7. 2 plus 1, 3. Nothing plus 3 is 3. 3,375. So that means that the volume of this box in question in this problem is 3,375 centimeters cubed, not squared. If it was area, centimeters would be squared. If it was perimeter, it would be centimeters, just plain centimeters, because it would be centimeters to the first power. But because it's volume, it's centimeters cubed, right? Cubic centimeters. What does that really mean? How many 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter cubes can fit inside this box in question? This is how many can fit inside of that box in question. So if you had a bunch of little cubes, right, that look like Rubik's cubes, except they're only 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter, 1 centimeter height, 1 centimeter length, 1 centimeter width, right? How many of them little cubes stacked together, with no space in between, right? How many of those could fit inside of a box with these dimensions? 45 by 15 by 5. How many? This many, 3,375 of them. Because when you multiply 45 times 15 times 5, you get 3,375. So this is how you would do a problem like this. Maybe not the only way, but it's one way. But the important takeaway for this problem is knowing how to translate a word problem into these little equations. Right? Somebody might look at this and say, yo, this is too much. There's a lot going on here. All right, cool. Make it less. Make Make the first sentence just W equals 1/3 L. Make the second sentence H equals 1/3 W. The third sentence is just L equals 45 centimeters. That's what they tell you. If the length of the box is, you got to learn how to filter out the most important information, right? And be economical with your use of words and letters and symbols and numbers, right? So think about it. This whole paragraph got translated to just basically these 3 lines right here. Oh, and this one right here. What is the volume of the box? Volume equals length times width times height. You can add that too. So this is what we do. So when you approach word problems, that's really your job. That's your job, to condense it, translate it, comprehend it, interpret it, and then flip it and rewrite it in the language of mathematics. All right. So you got to practice problems like this. Don't run away from the word problems. Run toward the word problems. Right. Just like you shouldn't run away from math. Run toward the math. Math is a tool that can help you in life in all types of situations, whether you believe it or not. The people that told you it can help you is lying to you. They frauds. They lying. Right. They're trying to hold you back. They don't want you to win. I want you to win. So I'm telling you, you need to run to the math, because you can use math skills and mathematical thinking in all types of situations. You'd be surprised. All right. So make sure you subscribe to the All This Math YouTube channel if you're not already. If you still have questions about anything that I wrote on the board, please put your questions in the comments. Please put your questions in the comments so I can know what you still need help with, what you still need explaining. All right. Like the video. Go ahead and like the video. Right? If you've been here this whole time watching this video, you might as well like it. Also, share this with somebody else. Don't be selfish. All right. And definitely remember Harriet Tubman, Assata Shakur. They're going to pick up Assata Shakur right here. Fannie Lou Hamer, Ida B. Wells. All right. Four very important women in the quest for liberation. All right. See y'all on the next video. Peace.